Dublin, the Irish capital, displays two well-defined faces. On one side, the charming personality of the Irish, their hospitality, and the pleasure of strolling through its streets stand out. However, reality shows us that it also faces a growing crisis of homelessness, with official figures that have significantly increased in recent years. But this is not the only issue that has worsened in the city of Guinness in 2023. The number of knackers, a colloquial term used to describe certain teenagers with challenging and problematic behaviors that make them inherently dangerous, is out of control. Simultaneously, the issue related to drug consumption and trafficking on the streets has intensified to alarming levels. We will divide today's extraordinary walk into two parts, and in this first episode, we will explore two of these factors that, according to Dublin citizens themselves, are pushing the capital toward a concerning scenario: the increase in homelessness and drug addicts. Is Dublin on the edge of the abyss? Let's start from the beginning. The economic situation in Ireland in 2023 shows a contraction of 4.6% in the gross domestic product, resulting in a loss of €900 million, according to the Central Statistics Office of Ireland. Despite these economic imbalances, Finance Minister Michael McGrath highlights a 2.7% growth in household economy, measured through modified domestic demand. However, behind these numbers, there are significant social problems affecting the people and families of the capital, exacerbated by other factors such as difficult access to healthcare, which presents significant systemic deficiencies, expensive public services, and a shortage of workers in specific sectors. But one issue is particularly punishing Dubliners: housing. In Dublin, most citizens face difficulties in affording housing. In the capital, the shortage of affordable housing is evident, with rents comparable to those in London or Manhattan, averaging €1,500 per month for one-bedroom apartments, making it inaccessible for the majority of the Irish population. As expected, the number of homeless people is on the rise. According to reports from La Vanguardia, by mid-2023, the number of people without stable housing has reached 12,000. A fundamental problem in this sector is that it historically was in the hands of the state, but currently, it is controlled by speculators seeking to profit from the growing population arriving in the capital in search of employment in globally recognized companies. According to the Irish New Time, Ireland reached a record in 2022 for the number of homeless people in the country, surpassing the figure of 11,000. This trend was criticized by charities as shameful, and Housing Minister Darragh O'Brien stated that there is no lack of will or determination to address the issue of homelessness. He referenced the fact that in 2022, the number of emergency accommodations had surpassed 11,000 for the first time since the current records began in 2014. Data published by his department shows that by the end of 2022, in October, there were 11,397 people, including 3,480 children, in emergency accommodations. This number represents an increase of over 400 in a month compared to the September figure and an increase of almost 30% in a year, as in October 2021, there were 8,830 people, 2,513 children, in emergency accommodations. Darragh O'Brien stated at that time,
"Unfortunately, we have seen a very significant increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness over the last month. This remains a key priority for our government. Resources and funding are not a barrier to the urgent efforts required. We will use the moratorium period to accelerate the delivery of much-needed social housing that will assist those experiencing homelessness."
The housing minister could not meet his objectives, as mentioned earlier, the number of homeless people in Ireland set a new record in 2023. According to the Journal, in May, 12,441 homeless people sought assistance from the state. Dublin's Simon community noted that in just 12 months, the number of homeless people increased by an alarming 23%. Peter McVerry Trust CEO Francis Doherty emphasized that the number of registered homeless people exceeds the number of houses sold in the country, which is around 600 according to listings on profile sites.
Even if we were to buy each of these houses tomorrow, we would only be securing 10% of the housing needed to meet the needs of the homeless,
said Doherty. It is important to note that these figures do not include homeless people who have not sought state assistance, as official statistics on homelessness in Ireland are based on those who have sought help from the government or local authorities to find a place to sleep. One of the social problems that significantly impacts the quality of life for Dublin citizens is the presence of individuals known as Yankees or addicts. The use of narcotic substances remains high globally, as highlighted by the New World Drug Report 2023 prepared by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, and the Celtic capital is no exception. According to surveys conducted by the website Numbeo, visitors to the city of Dublin point out that the issue of people consuming or trafficking drugs on the streets is significant. As we mentioned in our video Emigrate and Live in Ireland, the situation is so concerning that the Cabinet has decided to hold a citizen assembly in 2023 to address drug use, with the intention of reducing the significant harms associated with these substances. Witnessing people injecting drugs in public or semi-public places is something easily observable in the capital. If you stroll through the city center, you are likely to see drug addicts anywhere. Some have threatened passers-by with the syringes they use to take drugs, filled with blood infected with HIV. For a long time, this problem has been highlighted by different groups. In 2005, the Mayor's Commission on Crime and Policing noted that many people feel uncomfortable and threatened by drug use on the streets, leading some to believe that the law is not being enforced sufficiently. The reality is that this situation has worsened in recent years. In response to the growing problem, facilities dedicated to heroin injection for addicts have been built in Dublin. For example, the charity Merchants Quay Ireland, MQI, managed one in 2021, offering private booths where addicts can inject heroin into their veins. The site of this facility is located 150 meters from St. Audouin's National School, one of the oldest educational institutions in the country, attended by many young students. It is estimated that every morning, before children arrive at school, approximately 63 people will have already used the facility's booths to consume drugs. MQI offers other comprehensive drug and alcohol services, such as the Riverbank Centre in Dublin 8, which includes a needle exchange and advice on safer injection, among other services. Many Dubliners disagree with these services, arguing that they encourage and facilitate consumption. What is your opinion on this? And so, we conclude the first part of our extraordinary journey. Don't miss the second episode, where you will learn about the questionable effectiveness of drug policies in Dublin, the growing danger posed by traffickers, the vicious cycle of addiction, the knackers, and a portrait of this subculture, the debate about zero tolerance for young offenders, and the challenges faced by the population due to violence. If you enjoyed our journey, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until the next extraordinary walk.